So I just made a video of the top 5 lures I'm using for pike, and I thought that while I'm at it, I'm going to make another one for my 5 favorite lures for perch. You can check the link below for the pike video. I live close to water, lots of pike and perch in these waters, so I do a lot of trial and error with different lures that I'm using. I also keep a log on the type of lure that I'm using and the time of the season. I recommend you as well, keep a log, see what works for you, see what doesn't work for you. It always helps. Then, otherwise you end up with too many lures and too many tackle boxes. So yeah, let's see if that works for you. I'd love to hear in a comment if you're familiar with those lures, if you tried them, if it worked for you, if it didn't work for you. Just let me know, and hopefully you enjoy this video. So the first one I'll be talking about is the Fox Rage Sparky Shell, which is an amazing lure. I have a few colors of those. Let me tell you what I think about this one. So the Sparky Shell is probably one of the most popular lures among perch anglers. There's a few good reasons for that. First of all, it's highly effective. It really catches fish. It's mainly because the spikes, there's like dozens of spikes that are running from head to tail. Those create a lot of vibration. That's very interesting for perch. That's what they're looking for. The colors are great. They have many colors. I'll get to that in a second. Second reason is that they're very easy to animate. You can fish them slow. If you go for large perch, I normally will have a slow retrieve. You can fish them fast. It really is not that difficult to animate them. And third reason is that they are relatively cheap. So that's quite attractive for fishermen as well, of course. As for the colors, like I mentioned before, there's quite a variety and selection, so it's really up to you what you want to use. I always aim to use the most natural colors. That's what works for me. If you're fishing on the dark or in murky water, you might want to use pink or any very vivid colors. There's some trial and error you need to do in order to figure out what works for you best. Basically, they all catch. I never really failed on any of them, but these are my favorite colors. This is when it's a bit darker, and this is my to-go-to color on a day-to-day. I personally really like to fish them on light gear. Makes it much more interesting. Worth saying that they're also pretty interesting for pike. Actually, in that picture you can see this is my record for smallest jack I ever caught, and it was on this one. And if you're on light tackle, it's actually quite fun. So one of the top catchers, most popular lures in the perch fishing community is the Salmon Hornet, and there's a good reason for that. It doesn't fail. It is an amazing lure, and we're going to talk a little bit about that now. So the Salmon Hornet is another very popular lure for perch, and this is my absolute top lure when I go fishing. It's an extremely popular crankbait. It's been around for now more than 2 decades. You can get it in different versions. You can get it as a floating, as a sinking, or also as what Salmo calls the super deep runner. I think there's about 6 different sizes. They range from 2 to 6 centimeters and about 18 different color patterns. These work best for me, especially these two, the Fire Tiger and the Perch. Amazing lures, caught me loads of perch. These ones I also use when I'm after pike. The movement is quite attractive for all type of predators. They wobble crazy in the water. You really feel that. So again, with these ones, I like to use them on light tackle because I really like to connect with the lure. I really like to feel the wobbling and the take, so I can set the hook right and on time. You can use them both for casting and trolling, depending if you're using the deep runner. And if you need more information about them, please visit the Salmo website. I'll leave a link here below, so you can go and check it out. Next lure is Haruko from Spro. So probably not as widely popular as some other lures, but definitely an amazing lure for perch is the Spro Haruko. This one's been around for a while as well. I love it because it's a lipless crankbait and it has an amazing action. It wobbles really strong. So you'll feel it when you're fishing, especially on light tackle. Also rattles, makes tons of noise, and it swims nose down. It's really cool because by the time it gets to the bottom, it looks like a feeding prey fish, which is very attractive for perch, also very attractive for pike. Caught a few on, especially on the bigger one. In terms of colors, it comes in a large variety of colors. These are my favorite, the gold brown and the perch one. As you can see, it starts to wear out a little bit after, I think I've had this one for about 2.5 years. Had a few catches on this, but you know, it wears out. Another thing that I read in comments from reviewers, they don't like the hooks. I personally have no issue with the hooks, but you know, everybody has their own flavor, so you're gonna have to find out for yourself. Let's talk about the Salmon Minnow in base color. So the Salmon Minnow is another great lure made by Salmo, and it comes also in floating and sinking. It's got also a super deep runner version, same as the Hornet, which you could potentially use for trolling, and it comes in 4 sizes ranging from 5 to 9 centimeters. It also has 15 colors, which you can see, but I specifically want to recommend this one, the Days. This has got me a huge amount of perch. I tried a few other colors, but this is definitely my to-go-to lure. I don't feel I need to change it because it's such a good catcher. I've got a few similar ones. This is not a salmon, but it's supposed to be a perch, and it has the same principle of swimming. Hardly ever caught on this one. So yeah, the color here definitely plays a factor, at least in my local water. According to Salmo, you can fish it in pretty much every condition, upstream, downstream, as I mentioned before, trolling, casting, it all works well. It has a quite easy retrieve, simple action of wobbling, imitating a slow fish or possibly a sick fish. One fun fact about this one is, as opposed to all the other lures I presented here, it's the only one who never got me a pike, which is pretty cool when you're not aiming for a pike and when you are just targeting perch when you go fishing. Right guys, the last one is not a specific brand, it's the type. We're going to be talking about Creatures, which is an excellent lure for perch. Alright, so Creatures, a must-have in your tackle box if you fish for perch. These are great because they look a lot like the food source that is swimming in the perch water. I personally really like the natural colors. I'm less fond of any crazy colors like red, pink, whatever. These really work for me. The way you use it is that you just jig them on the bottom. Kind of looks like a crayfish, which perch really like to feed on. Also good to use with a weedless hook, so you can jig it through heavy vegetation if that's the case for you. This is not a specific brand, there's a bunch of brands here, but it's more about the type of lure that you should be using. Easy to get them, every tackle shop has a few, and you know, based on the size is you can target the fish that you want, larger bait for larger perch, etc. As always. Have a couple in your tackle box because it's a must-have for the perch angler. So that's it for 5 lures on perch fishing, guys. Hopefully that was something that will be useful for you and you'll go out there and give these a go. Remember, try to keep a log on the lures that you're using and what time of the year, because it's easy to trace like this what worked for you and what didn't. Please subscribe to the channel, like, give a comment, let me know if you would like me to do any other videos on a different topic, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.